Okay.
Stay tuned, everybody, because it's time for the Playin on Music Row podcast with your host, Fran. Heard each week on this station. And now, here's Fran.
You got 86. They thought that you were counting cars, and I got cut off, 'cause I got drunk at the bar. So what now? The night's still young, and we're not done having fun. Say, take my hand, I've got a plan. We don't want this night to end. Let's get married in Vegas, so baby shame us. They can't persuade us, it's just young love. Let's be audacious and ostentatious. I'm feeling flirtatious in this red dress. If it lasts for life or just a night, let's do it 'cause it just feels right now. You wave down a cab outside the MGM Grand, and you look back at me. You laugh and say we're mad. The lights are on, the line ain't long. I choose a nice bouquet. Walking down the aisle, I just smile. Who thought we'd get hitched today? Let's get married in Vegas, and though they may shame us, they can't persuade us. It's just young love. We don't need status, who cares we're not famous? We have no one to impress. If it lasts for life or just tonight, let's do it 'cause it just feels right now. Now we're man and wife, and the pastor bids us love. We go on our way. Now I'm a bit love struck, so come on and kiss me. 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 We just got married in Vegas, and though they may shame us, they can't persuade us. It's just young love. No one can blame us. The movies betrayed us, so we have to do it on our own. If it lasts for life or just a night, we did it 'cause it just felt right now. We just got married in Vegas, and though they may shame us, they can't persuade us. It's just young love. Let's be audacious and ostentatious. I'm feeling flirtatious in this red dress. If it lasts for life or just a night, we did it 'cause it just felt right now.
Well, that was today's guest, Rachel Lincoln, with Married in Vegas. Maybe what can you tell us a little bit about how that song came about and the video, etc.?
Yeah. So I actually live in Vegas. But that song was written back in Australia before I had ever been to Vegas. Before I moved to the US. It was written about probably nearly 18 months ago. But yeah, I just had the idea for kind of like there's all these movies about these crazy nights in Vegas and like The Hangover and that kind of thing. And I thought, well, that would be a great song idea. There's all these movies about a night like that. Let's make a song like that. So the song is, yeah, pretty much about a couple. We don't know if they already know each other or, if they meet. That's left up to the listener to decide. But yeah, it's about, getting kicked out of casinos, and they're like, well, all right, what now? We've still got a great night ahead of us. What should we do? And they say, well, let's get married. What else are you going to do? What else is in Vegas, right? If you can't get into a bar and you can't get into a casino, then hey, go to a chapel.
It wasn't a real life story. Okay.
No, just a nice sort of fantasy plot, I guess you could say.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. When did you first find an interest in music?
I would say probably from a pretty young age. I would say probably 5 or 6. I remember my first like solo singing performance was at my like back in Australia, like my year one, my grade one assembly, and I was Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz. And I remember singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I think yeah, I think something inside me was sparked way back then, in like 2001. So yeah, I then started like performing in my local like theatre troupe, I guess you'd say, like a light opera company. And I did a bunch of productions as a child, like every production that they ran, I was involved in, and then sort of got involved with school productions, and then at high school, like my high school music program and singing lessons, and yeah. So I think I've always really um, loved music, but I think I let it a little bit after finishing high school because I knew that music was my one true joy in life, but I think when you're that age, you have outside influences trying to, direct you. And teachers and parents were saying to me, well, music's not probably a real job. Maybe you need to just go and do like a real subject at college. A real degree or whatever, and music can be your hobby. And I was young and impressionable, and I listened to them, and I went and did that, and I've ended up reverting back anyway. So yeah, I think you've just got to listen to your heart, really. That's very cliche, but very true. Mm.
Well, I think everybody who's in music has heard that you need to get a real job. We've heard
Yeah,
everyone's heard that. Yeah.
yeah.
But okay, being that you had some that were kind of negative, and I don't know if you want to say negative, but there were not so much very positive towards you, a career in music. Who were some of the people or people, writers or artists that kind of influenced you, where you got excited and said, "Yeah, I'm really going to do this thing."
Um, well, I was quite taken by John Mayer as a songwriter. I think I sort of discovered his music probably about 10 or 11 years ago, and I just really love some of his lines. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but yeah, some of his songs I just thought, God, that's a great line. Wow, I wish I thought of that. What a great analogy, or lyrics that anyone could relate to. And I thought, wow, that's a skill, isn't it? That's an art to be able to describe certain feelings or those kind of things in such great in such great ways. And I thought, wow, that's so cool. I would like to have a go at that. And I think I started maybe dabbling in songwriting probably about 10 years ago, but didn't really have confidence in myself and stuck to covering stuff. And then I became like a professional cover musician in cover bands and weddings and that kind of thing. And then I sort of got stuck in just being a cover musician for a while, and then I revisited songwriting and writing my own stuff. And then I think something just one day sparked to me, and I thought, well, all these other people writing songs, and some of the songs that are out there are, not the greatest, not the most sophisticated songwriting out there. I'm sure I can give it a go. And yeah, sort of now. So I'm honing my songwriting, and I've been busy this year writing and recording a 12-track album that I've written all myself. So that's just wrapping up today. I've got a studio session tonight. So yeah, I think I'm definitely working on the songwriting, and hopefully it gets even better. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you have a song called "Ciao," and me, I'm being
Oh no.
Italian, Italian ancestry. I'm from Italian. I loved
Oh
it.
no,
It was great.
this is not yeah, okay. So this is not really meant for
Well,
I
we're gonna
probably
play it now, and then you
oh
can tell us
no.
all about it.
Oh my goodness.
You're not getting the message, so then let me try Another way to tell you that you're wasting your time. I've been saying the same thing for 18 months or so. Your English skills seem fine, but yet you're not hearing no. Ciao, ciao, leave me alone. If there's a language barrier, let me break it down. Ciao, ciao, leave me alone. Arrivederci, see you never, farewell, so long. There ain't no way in hell you would have baptized me. I think you should convert your church of hypocrisy. You'd go out with your friends, but then when I do the same, you tell me to stay home, me looking good was to blame. Get it through your head to me, you're dead. Liking pics of naked chicks on Instagram all the time, but then you gave me grief about wearing a low neckline. There's one more question on my mind that I wanna ask. Do you take your one-night stands with you on Sunday to Mass? Ciao, ciao, leave me alone. Only saw you for 3 months, but it was 3 months too long. Ciao, ciao, leave me alone. And what the hell was on that secret second phone? You promised me La Dolce Vita, I'll be just fine. Cause you're 34 on paper, but you act like a child. Expected to impress me with your master's degree. Well, your intelligence is clearly not emotionally. Get it through your head to me, you're dead. Capiche, comprende, I ran out of ways I can say. Please no phone and kindly won't you be on your way. I'm never ever getting back together with you, so I'm praying to God you'll take this as my final adieu. Ciao, ciao, leave me alone. If there's a language barrier, let me break it down. Ciao, ciao, leave me alone. Arrivederci, see you never, farewell, so long. Ciao, ciao, leave me alone. If there's a language barrier, let me break it down. Ciao, ciao, leave me alone.
Everything on the internet is fair game there, Rachel.
Oh, that is a good point. You've made me realize I haven't heard that for years actually.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
I'm
I
now
love the
listening to it
Italian
again and
in
I'm
it.
like, yeah,
I,
that's funny.
I love the Italian in it,
Yeah,
and
so
I
I just want to
understand it.
say,
Well, why
I
don't you
just want
tell
to
us a little
say
bit?
that,
Tell us a little bit of how it all
yeah,
came
okay.
about.
I just want to say that that song, just straight off the bat, that song is obviously satirical, right? It's not to be taken seriously. It's satire. It's in the style of like Bo Burnham, if you know Bo Burnham. Um, it's in Australia, we would say, I don't know if I can say this on the podcast, but we would say in Australia, like, we're taking the piss, we're taking the mickey, we're poking fun at something. Yeah. So I hope that that's obvious. That is not my
Oh,
serious
sure.
songwriting. But yeah, so it was probably, let me think now. I think nearly 3 years ago. As you can maybe tell from the song, there was um a love interest, I suppose you would say, obviously of Italian descent, heritage. Um, and as the song says, only saw him for 3 months. But then 18 months later, he was still, trying to get me back. So I'd sort of tried everything. I'd said, leave me alone. There's no chance. And it just what the message wasn't getting through. So I thought, well, maybe a song will get the message through. And that song was originally just meant to be I guess you'd say like a diss track, yeah. And you can obviously tell that I'm being a bit petty about some of the things that occurred during the relationship, if you can call it that. But yeah, you've made me realize that yep, that is still out there. It got nominated for a songwriting award in a comedy like section of a songwriting competition. So I mean, hey, laugh, but yeah, hey, it must have some kind of merit. But yeah, you've made me realize it's still out there. So I probably need to go and yeah, clean up my whatever's on YouTube.
No, it was great. Um, when did you begin writing and performing your original songs? Because you mentioned you had
Um,
cover bands and stuff.
yeah, the first original song like that I properly wrote, recorded, and released, I wrote in 2019. I was in Sweden actually, working with a producer over there. So what's that like? Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago that I started seriously, releasing and writing. Yeah.
Okay. Um, well, you mentioned that you took one song. The first song we played was just sort of made up. The next one was of
Mm.
a real life situation. Where do you find what other ways do you find you get songs, or which do you think is the better way to come up with ideas for songs?
Oh, definitely drawing on your own life inspiration and experiences. Yeah, definitely. I think that this probably sounds a bit toxic, but you go through life experiences or relationships or heartbreak or whatever, and then you sort of tell yourself, you go, well, this is sad, and I don't like feeling like this. But then in the next thought, you go, oh, it's going to make for great songwriting. So yeah, I think it's a hybrid thing of drawing on my own experiences, and I think that some of the songs, I mean, they're not out yet, but some of the songs that will be on this album that's coming, I think uh, people in my life or people that have been in my life will probably hear some of the songs and go, I think that one's about me. So I'm probably a little bit Taylor Swift in that sense. But yeah, I mean, some are 50% based on my actual life, and then the other 50% is extrapolated on stuff that's just imagined, or the ratio might be less or more, but some are 100% fully about my life, and some that are just imagined, or just telling a story, like Married in Vegas. So yeah, I can say that I wouldn't, I haven't, and I wouldn't go out, get drunk at a bar in Vegas, and then end up at a chapel with a stranger. That's not going to happen. But yeah, I hope that in all of my songs, maybe not the last one we heard, but because that was about a very specific individual with a specific purpose. But my stuff that's being put out, mainstream stuff, I hope that people can make their own interpretation and their own meaning of my songs. So yeah.
Yeah, well, Chow won an award, so that's very good. How would you describe your sound? Because there were two very different, and we're going to play another song, but they were a
Yeah.
little bit different. And so, how would you describe your sound?
I started out back in 2019 when I wrote my first song that came out. That was actually, I would say, electro pop in genre, and that was due to the fact that I think I was in Sweden. I was, very novice at songwriting, and the influence over there at the time was, almost an EDM, Avicii heavy sort of style that I sort of was steered into writing, I suppose. So I think that was my first sort of sound, and I think I knew that wasn't really the genre for me. But I don't know. I think maybe at that time I thought that I had to write in that style to be received well, maybe. Um, so then I wrote another sort of EDM track, and still was thinking, that's not really my style. And it was only when I came out to the US in March, and I headed out to Nashville, and I realized there that, oh, I think country is the correct genre for me, because country can embody so many elements. You've got blues, influences, rock, soul. So I think, yeah, I think I realized that country pop was probably the direction for me to head in. So the album that I've been writing is country pop. And yeah, I think that just feels like the right genre for me now that I've found my sound.
Okay.
after a bit of time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna play "Out of the Blue" by Rachel Lake, and then you can tell us about that song.
Yeah.
All these years later, please know I don't hate ya for what you did, yeah, we were just kids. They wanted us to meet, though it's happened a couple times, so thanks for saying sorry after all of these years. Tell me, how's your mother been? Had a feeling I'd see you again. It's been a long time since I last saw you. I have a feeling it's not so out of the blue. Yeah, I have a feeling it's not so out of the blue. Was good to get to know ya, but thanks now for the closure. Thanks for the apology, now we can move on. Call it chance or destiny, coincidence or meant to be. But running into you is what I needed right now. Tell me, how's your mother been? Had a feeling I'd see you again. It's been a long time since I last saw you. I have a feeling it's not so out of the blue. Yeah, I have a feeling it's not so out of the blue. We were a lifetime ago. It's nice to see so. Tell me, boy, how have you been? Were we 20 or was it 19? It's been a long time since I last saw you, and I have a feeling it's not so out of the blue. Yeah, I have a feeling it's not so out of the blue. So tell me, boy, how have you been? Had a feeling I'd see you again. It's been a long time since I last saw you. I have a feeling it's not so out of the blue. Yeah, I have a feeling it's not so out of the blue. Fancy running into you. Fancy running into you. Fancy running into you. I have a feeling it's not so out of the blue. I have a feeling it's not so out of the blue.
Okay, well, let's learn a little bit
Sorry,
about
my
that.
my
Oh,
little one wanted to
that's
come up
great.
on my lap.
That's that's great. Is that to help you write? Makes you a co-writer. Comes up with
Yeah.
ideas. Comes up with ideas for you. Um, how did that song come about?
Yeah, that one was actually spurred by running into an old flame, but it that's really all. I mean, it was a very quick interaction, but it did spur the idea for, those sort of those moments where something happens and you think, God, that was like what a coincidence, or that was strange. I was only thinking about them the other day, and now I've run into them after years. So it was spurred by one of those moments, and then I sort of branched off from that and thought, okay, yeah, that's an interesting song idea. Um, and it's about maybe someone from your past that you haven't seen for a long time, and things were left a bit maybe unresolved or not in the best way, and it's almost like the universe feels like you guys have to meet to wrap things up and maybe just get a bit of closure, even though you think you're over it. But the universe wants you to meet to get closure, and then it's about, yeah, just acknowledging they were part of your past and wishing them well and moving on. Yeah.
That,
So it's a positive. It's meant to be, a positive message. Yeah.
oh, it is positive. This sounds positive. How was your music career being promoted?
Um, well, actually, recently, only in the last couple weeks, I've actually managed to get a bit of traction with, sorry, bit of traction with Married in Vegas. So luckily, that ended up on some Spotify editorial playlists.
Okay.
So that one's now got about 1.5 million Spotify streams. So that's pretty good. So
Yes.
that has led to some good tangible stuff coming from that. So yeah, gotta hope that that continues. I've recently also won some like I enter a lot of song competitions and songwriting contests and that kind of thing, and that's great. That's a great way to get your music in front of some pretty substantial names in the industry and get good feedback as well as exposure and that kind of thing. So yeah, just trying to do anything and everything, just trying to get my name out there and just keep pushing. Yeah, hopefully next year's going to be a good one now that the album's ready to go and marketing that and using that as a as a tool and trying to give that the best shot it's got. That's the plan for next year.
Okay. Well, okay, maybe you could tell us a little bit about that project. Do you have a working title or something? And can you let us know if you're going to be performing or touring in support of that new project?
Yeah, I haven't got anything locked in for that. I would like to do a bit of a tour, maybe string some cities in the southeast together or something like that. Um, as for the title, oh, she's on the table. As for the title of the album, I'm playing around still with titles. I don't know. Maybe I just want it to be self-titled. I'm still deciding. Um, but it's got about 12 tracks on. I'm debating if I put a couple others on there and make it 14. Um, but yeah, I hope that once that's out, um, trying to tour with it. I'm so sorry. Trying to tour with it and yeah, definitely try to do as much as I can with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no tour dates or anything locked in yet.
Okay, what's the name of the star of the show here? We've seen her a few
Oh,
times.
yeah. Her name is Pebbles.
Hey, Pebbles. Um,
Yeah, she's my baby. Hey,
yeah, well, um, well,
sorry.
I mean, I'm sure that the listening audience will like to follow up on this and find out about your new music and stuff. What's the best way to find out about Rachel Lincoln?
Honestly, probably Instagram. I'm probably most active on there. That's probably where I would say my website as well. But yeah, probably Instagram and Facebook would be the key ones I'd say at this point. Oh, and Spotify maybe. I mean, but yeah, for updates, probably Instagram.
Okay, okay, any more? Uh, okay.
Yeah, that's probably it.
All right. Well, I've asked you a lot of questions. So what I'm going to find out, is there anything I haven't asked you that you would like to tell the listening audience?
Oh, not really. I mean, yeah, sorry, just for yeah, probably for other musicians. I just want to say that I know so many great musicians that are so talented and have great potential, but I find that a lot of musicians don't take action. So I guess for my fellow musicians out there, especially independent starting out musicians, I think that something that a lot of them need to maybe be told is the music business is a business and you can be a dreamer and you can be a great guitarist or whatever, but you've got to learn and probably realize that it's a business at the end of the day. So that's probably the only thing I'd like to say to my fellow musos out there who we're all trying to make it, and I think that if I had to give advice, I would probably say that view it as a business, view your career as a business and you as a business and a product.
Well,
Yeah.
that's very good advice. Well, Rachel Lincoln, the Nashville Broadcasting Network want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Yeah, no, it's been really nice chatting, Fran. Yeah.
You're quite welcome.